Hey everyone, welcome to the 13th episode of the All Day Show with No Budget with me, Jason Leong. Now let's start with a big international news item, not the US elections, but the one before that, when Tun M got into trouble for one of his tweets which read that Muslims have the right to kill the French people after the horrific attacks that took place in France. Tun M then said that that tweet was taken out of context, which is, to be fair, it's part of a thread, a whole list of tweets, and media outlets just focused on one particular tweet, which was further clarified by Tun M in the thread. Now, with all respect to Tun M, okay, he's an old man, he has been Prime Minister twice, and it's very hard to get a, a rather internationally relevant take on a very sensitive issue from a very old man. There are a lot of things which didn't exist when he was the first Prime Minister that we take for granted today. For example, things that didn't exist when he was the first Prime Minister include the internet, USB ports, Facebook, Anwar's majority support, the wheel, probably, I don't know. Now on to the US elections. Congratulations to Mr. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris for winning the US elections and becoming the president and vice president-elect. Our Prime Minister congratulated Joe Biden on winning the elections and getting rid of Trump, which is a bit ironic because Joe Biden won the presidency using a tactic which is quite foreign with our current Prime Minister. Let me see. It's, let me check my notes here. It's, letting the voters vote for the government they want. Here's the funniest story from the US elections. I'm not going to make any of this up, okay? The president-reject wanted to have a press conference, and he tweeted that there will be a press conference at the Four Seasons. Now, you will assume that this meant the Four Seasons Hotel because, he owns hotels. But someone made a mistake, and they booked the Four Seasons Total Landscaping. It was a landscaping company. Okay, maybe has some relation to real estate. Donald Trump is a real estate mogul. And then it turns out that it was in a parking lot of the landscaping company, and it was next to a dildo shop. I'm not making this up. It was next to a dildo shop, and across the street there was a crematorium, which is quite an apt metaphor because Donald Trump is a dick and his presidency is dying. But come on, man, how can you mistake the Four Seasons Hotel with the Four Seasons Total Landscaping? That's like saying you own a home in Beverly Hills and it turns out it's Beverly Hills Clang. So sorry to all Clang people. I love you. I love Bak Kut Teh. Or like saying you watched a doctor turned comedian's Netflix special and it's not Ken Jeong. You should watch this one. It's quite nice. So anyway, come on Donald Trump, get your act together. Even when Malaysian politicians organized a coup, they had it at a 5-star hotel, the Sheraton Hotel. And you own hotels. If Malaysia's current administration did the same thing, they would have a press conference but it's near a kedai sop bontot, and it will be at the back door of the kedai, and across the street will be the border to another state so that the VIPs can cross without wearing masks. I find it quite funny that there is nothing that the Americans have gone through that we have never gone through. Prematurely declaring victory? Joe Biden is too old. Apa nama. Deputy President who is female? A stable and democratic process of which there is no coup or backdoor government? Okay, that one I give you. Now here's some advice to Mr. Joe Biden, the 46th President of the United States, from a Malaysian who has gone through Malaysian politics all his life. No matter how bad things get, never, ever, 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 never ever, never ever ever, never ever, not even once, don't even think about it, don't even think to contemplate about it, don't even listen to all your friends, don't you ever, 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 ever resign the presidency. And then to Donald Trump also, Donald Trump is refusing to admit defeat. I have this advice to Mr. Donald Trump. All you have to do is look for a Sheraton Hotel and call one of my friends. His name is Azmin, and he'll sort you out. Now on to another big item, the budget 2021. Tengku Zafrul, our finance minister, made headlines when he presented the budget recently. Now, what was the headlines for? Is it because the budget is so groundbreaking, it's going to make Malaysia a first world country?
Tengku Zafrul dilihat berpakaian baju Melayu lengkap bersamping diiringi Timbalan Menteri Kewangan 1 Datuk Abdul Rahim Bakri.
He carried the budget in a grey bag instead of a black bag. Is this real? This is news. Why? Imagine you own a company and one day your head of finance at the annual meeting to present the annual report, he whispers into your ear, "I'm not wearing underwear." Hey, who cares about your underwear? Just tell us the things about the money, man. Also, seriously, wear underwear is very unhygienic. Another big item in the budget 2021 is that now Malaysians can withdraw from their retirement savings for their own needs during these tough times. That is the most literal definition of rakyat jaga rakyat. We use our own money to take care of ourselves. Thank you, government. This is like that one friend we all have who we borrow money to because he asked us, and then after chasing him for many years to pay back the money, he finally pays back. But when he pays back, he acts as if he is doing us a favor by giving us the money he owes us. Hey, bugger, it's my own money lah. Actually, there's a worse analogy. This is like you take a seed and you give it to your friend who's a gardener who promises to grow that seed into a nice, beautiful tree. But then suddenly, he gives you the seed back and goes, "Sorry, I can't grow the seed." Hello, you promised me a tree. Where's my tree? Also, it's reported that our frontliners will get a one-off payment of 500 ringgit each, or about $5. Now, compare that to the relatively generous job support packages in Australia and in Singapore. Now, I know comparing Malaysia to Australia or Singapore is like comparing apples to much better governed and more efficient apples. But I can't help it. That's the DNA in my Malaysian Chinese genes. Still, I'm grateful to be Malaysian. Our leaders may be idiots, but at least our currency is shit. Now, not everyone is suffering financially in Malaysia right now. The aduns in Kelantan are set to receive a pay rise of up to 5,000 ringgit per adun once the motion has passed in the state parliament. And this is fair because the state government of Kelantan has reported a budget surplus of 66.2 million. Huh? Not surplus. Deficit. They are in the hole for 66.2 million. Then why are they getting a pay rise? Now, this reminds me of an actual client I had who not only did not pay me for my services rendered to him, he also had the audacity to ask me to lend him money for his car repairs. And you know what's the stupidest thing? I actually gave him the money. Fuck you, Steve! A controversial item in the budget is the 85.5 million allocation for JASA, which critics say is just a propaganda machine for the government. Now, the former DG of JASA, whom, by the way, you may remember as the guy who said that you can diagnose homosexuality in guys if they wear V-necks. Even this guy said that 85.5 million is a bit too much. Now, the Ministry of Communications and Multimedia actually issued a statement saying that 85.5 million is needed to counter COVID-19 misinformation. Yo, bro, you don't need 85.5 million ringgit to counter COVID-19 misinformation. Just give me the money. I will counter COVID-19 fake news for you. All I do is ban all the aunties and uncles from accessing their WhatsApp apps so that they cannot spread fake news to their family WhatsApp groups. That will already reduce fake news by 90% when it comes to COVID-19. And I will only charge 5 million ringgit? Now, the Ministry of Communications and Multimedia is already well equipped to combat misinformation. It already has bernama RTM and Jabatan Penerangan, which translates to, I'm not kidding, the Department of Explanations. You sound exactly like the dodgy insurance salesperson who likes to pile on stuff to inflate the cost. This life insurance policy is linked to investments like unit trust so that when you die, you have a lot of money. Or you sound like a dodgy comedian who likes to add on useless stuff to sell to the client so that he can justify an inflated cost. Not only that, there are rumors that the DG of this new JASA will be Dr. Afif Barhadin. So here's where we are. This propaganda machine, JASA, which was once headed by the guy who says you can diagnose homosexuality if the guy is wearing V-necks, will now be headed by the guy who says that if you go to barbers, your blood pressure can be reduced. It seems like JASA is now going to be just another stupid agency. I'm going to do a classic Douglas Lim joke right here. It goes something like this. Orang suruh kau berjasa kat rakyat, kau pula tubuhkan jasa. Aduh. There was some uproar in Parliament when opposition MPs thought that the healthcare budget was reduced, but then the Finance Minister clarified that the budget for healthcare has actually increased to 31.9 billion. The reason for the misinterpretation was because some things have been added on to other columns. However, here's the thing. Even at 31.9 billion, our healthcare budget is still not enough. For many years, Malaysia's healthcare system has been grossly underfunded, even when we compare ourselves to our neighbours. And I know this because I was in the healthcare system for almost 5 years. Doctors in the public service in Malaysia are not being paid enough and are not treated well enough. For all their sacrifice and hard work, Malaysian doctors in the public system have always been underpaid. I have seen so many talented doctor friends I've met in medical school, leave the country for greener pastures and taking with them their expertise. Of all the human capital that we lose due to our constant and perennial brain drain, nothing hurts more than losing talented doctors. I've actually met a very talented liver surgeon, a Malaysian liver surgeon, who wanted to come back and practice in Malaysia, but due to bureaucracy and of course not being paid well enough, he has now moved to other countries and he's the top liver surgeon in that particular country. I have met so many talented Malaysian doctors working overseas who have expressed a desire to come back and work for Malaysia, to serve Malaysians. But the red tape and the bureaucracy, and not to mention the low pay, has always deterred them. This is just one symptom of the major chronic problem, the underfunding of Malaysia's healthcare system. Now, that's not to say that our healthcare system is bad. It's not bad. It's excellent. It's one of the best healthcare systems in the world. We are truly getting the greatest bang for our buck when it comes to Malaysian healthcare. And I'm not denying that there are a lot of talented people still serving in the Malaysian healthcare system. We have Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham, who has done an amazing job trying to fight COVID-19 for us. I'm saying, imagine how much better our healthcare would be if we paid our doctors well enough so that in the future we have 10 or even 100 Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hishams. We Malaysians are blessed with an absurdly good healthcare system. It needs to be improved and it must start by treating and paying our healthcare professionals better. And that's no joke. As I'm recording this, it's the 9th of November, and this time of year, you know what's coming, you know what's around the corner. Deeply awesome Christmas. No, I'm kidding, of course. Deepavali is around the corner, and I want to wish all my favorite people on earth a very happy Deepavali. Now, I've been very lucky to be a part of many Deepavali celebrations, and the one thing I learned about Deepavali is that the underlying theme is that light will overcome darkness. I know this year is a little bit bleak, a little bit darker than most years, but I hope, actually I'm sure that your light together will shine through the darkness. That is 2020. And hopefully 2021 will be a much better year, a much brighter year for all of us. So once again, a very happy Deepavali, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye. Hey everyone, hope you like this video. Please follow me on social media, subscribe to this channel where you can watch my comedy sketches, the all day show with no budget, and of course, clips of my stand-up comedy performances. And also, don't forget to watch me on Netflix, #blessed. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again. Bye-bye.